So TMZ, being the credible news source that they are, okay, if you want to call them that, caught up with Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, of course, is the actor who was playing Kang the Conqueror in all the recent Marvel movies and shows. He did it in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and he's done it in the last two seasons of Loki. And of course, he got into some trouble with one of his exes and got accused and found guilty of assault charges. And the second that the verdict came out, Disney said, "Oh, we got timeout. We got to cut ties on." Um, and now they're pivoting away from Kang altogether and are going with Robert Downey Jr. as a version of Doctor Doom. I have other videos about my thoughts on that here on the channel. Please go watch those, hit like and subscribe. Um, here's the thing though. A lot of people are going, they caught up with him, and according to TMZ, um, that Jonathan Majors is heartbroken, quote unquote. They asked him about it, and they go, let's see here. It says the RDJ reveal gathered mixed reactions, including confusion from his on-screen wife Gwyneth Paltrow. Quote, "I don't get it. Are you a baddie now?" But in a video interview published Wednesday, Majors told TMZ he is quote unquote heartbroken over the pivot. "Of course, I love him. I love Kang," he said before adding, "Doctor Doom is wicked though." Very nicely played there, Majors. I will say that. TMZ also pressed Majors about his falling out with Marvel, bringing up Hollywood's treatment of Downey, and also Flash star Ezra Miller. They wanted to get rid of Ezra so bad, and they'll never do business with him again over his antics. Let's get that straight. The only reason why the Flash movie got released is because they were three-quarters of the way done filming it when all this shit got started with him. Um, which says who both have criminal histories, but went on to star in high-profile movies. Oscar winner Downey served jail time in the 90s after he was arrested for drug possession, among other charges, and went on to star in Iron Man and other Avengers films, most recently Oppenheimer. Um, Miller remained in Warner Brothers' 2023 The Flash despite a string of arrests and accusations of abuse leveled against him in recent years. Um, I think it's fair that Mr. Downey is being and has been treated with patience, and curiosity, and love, and that Miller's gotten the same treatment, and they're being allowed to work their art and be a creative at that level. Major said. Um, I didn't really get that. Why are you going to say that you think it's fair and go, I didn't get that, as in Majors did not get that? No, you didn't. And the reason why Ezra Miller should have been gone. I'll agree there. Ezra Miller should have been gone. The reason why Robert Downey Jr. has gotten to stick around despite his criminal past is because he made amends and he did his time and he cleaned up his act before. And, Marvel, when they did that Iron Man movie, Robert Downey Jr. did not make diddly squat on that movie because they had to take out insurance on him. That if he got arrested or got whatever, you know, if he put the project in jeopardy, they were being short on this. So Downey Jr. had to prove himself and was already back on the wagon when all this came along. Mickey Rourke was the same way. Mickey Rourke, when he did The Wrestler, all the way back in like 2008, 2009, was already back on the wagon, and that was kind of like his redemption role right there. So, and then he went on, Iron Man 2 was as well for him. So, you know, you got, it does take some time. Time heals all wounds. You can't just sit there and demand a second chance like that overnight, especially this day and age. You may never get it again. I mean, you may be permanently blackballed, um, which I think is unfair. You should still be able to work your art, as Major said here, after a while. Um, but Robert Downey Jr. did his time. He was on the mend. He was back on the wagon and has stayed on the wagon. Another thing you have to factor in is the fact that they got rid of you. Here's the thing. I ultimately think that if they had not convicted Majors of that, because they already had the statement ready to go. So I firmly believe that if the Majors had been found not guilty, they would have pushed forward, and we would have still been getting Kang the Conqueror. However, Disney's excuse, and they have a valid excuse for this, despite the conviction, is that Ant-Man and the Wasp underperformed. It didn't even make I think it made a little bit over $500 million, if not less. So, and that was all based around Kang the Conqueror. And then the fans just haven't responded to the character. They don't. It's not drawing money. So when something doesn't draw money, you got to pivot away from it. This is a pretty abrupt pivot, and pretty desperate pivot by Marvel, and rightfully so. As I said in another video, I don't have a problem with the desperation. It's business. You got to do what you got to do to draw money. Same thing in the wrestling business. If an angle isn't working or a character isn't working, you drop it and move on to the next, or you retool that character and make it work. They weren't making Kang work. The fact that they killed two of his variants, one of them being one of the most powerful ones in the Conqueror Kang version, not the Rama Tut like everybody wants. Oh, Rama Tut, Rama Tut. I'm sorry. That whole Council of Kangs deal to me was stupid. I liked the Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I liked the He Who Remains character from Loki season 1. That was it. But both of those got defeated. So what the hell's the point? You already beat the man twice. You've proven that Ant-Man can beat this guy. Another thing people are flipping out on is Robert Downey Jr.'s extreme contract demands. He wants a private jet. He wants a trailer encampment set up on out just outside the set, so he doesn't have to go to a hotel room every night. He can sleep in his trailer. Well, guess what? When you're hot, and when you're in demand, you can demand things like this. There is nobody out there that can stand in front of me with a straight face and tell me that they would not want the star treatment too. Robert Downey Jr. has earned it. The man just won a Best Supporting Actor nomination, or Best Supporting Acting Oscar. He should be one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. He should be getting the star treatment. He should be getting points off the back end. He should be having a little bit of creative control. Because he's going back on, he said the only way that he would ever come back is if he were able to take the character in a direction it hadn't been taken in before. And lo and behold, here we are. And lo and behold, he's going to pull a creative control card, and he's going to have Joe and Anthony Russo directing it. He's going to get the writers that wrote 8 out of the first 10 Marvel movies to come in and write it. So yes, he deserves everything he's getting, and probably more. You get into acting. Why do 90% of the people get into acting? Yes, it's for the art. Yes, it's because they love to do it. But at the end of the day, they're there to make money. So I don't blame Robert Downey Jr. a bit for wanting private jets to take him and his family to and from London, where this thing's going to be, or wherever it's going to be shot at. I don't blame him for wanting points off the back end of the movie. I don't blame him for wanting to bring in the director and his own writer. I don't blame him for wanting a trailer encampment to be comfortable. Because you know what that tells me? It tells me that Robert Downey Jr. cares enough about the project to ask for all those things. He's going to want to make this the best it could possibly be. He's not just going to go in there and get all the rewards, reap all the rewards, and make a crappy movie. I don't think that's his style. Anyway, folks, just a quick video from me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And we will see you down the road.